radio host. That was, of course, Stepping High by Brovo. That can't be. That has to be. Alright, fine. Brovo. This marking their 10th consecutive week at the top of the charts. Stellar stuff. Now, before this DJ signs off for the day, it's time for today's stories. Cassius Perth, Minister of Science, announced today that he would be stepping down from his position after 15 years of service. In a press release, he stated that he was satisfied with the work he had done in the past few years, and was looking forward to his retirement. I bet he was. Ministry retirement plans are through the roof as far as I know. The successor is currently being chosen, and a press release from the headquarters of the ministry, Science City, stated that a suitable candidate would be announced within the next week. And local journalist Renee Wilson seems like the best candidate. We can't wait to offer her a ludicrous salary. In other news, locals in West End are still reeling from the fire that ravaged an entire tenant block last week. Shit. Had to remind me, huh? The fire, which claimed a number of lives, has been reported as an unfortunate accident as a result of a gas leak. The police department has since stated that they will be investigating other at-risk buildings in the area for similar issues, and are asking citizens to cooperate. Our thoughts and prayers are with the unfortunate souls lost in the fire. That's all for today. This has been Middays with Madison, and next up is Gus and the Steelers with Old Blue. The game also has a solid soundtrack too. Very relaxing, which is part of why I chose this one instead of something a little more fast-paced. Alright, Renee, that article isn't going to write itself. Get to the office and get to work. I feel like she's talking to me. Gather your thoughts. Alright, get up. If I don't get to drink tea, you don't get to drink tea. Goofy ass. I would love to have a room like this. Except I just imagine it having like spiders or something crazy. Too much nature is dangerous. Hello? Statues. We got these for our wedding. Happy to have the goddess on my side. Lucas can keep the shepherd. Damn. Stocked. I guess she went grocery shopping too. Everybody but me. Kitchen counter. Couldn't have dreamed of a nicer kitchen. Still don't feel like cooking. I should wrap things up as soon as I can. It's too beautiful outside to stay in the office all day. That lighting too. Love it. Oh, I just left the light on for no reason. Fishbowl. Hey there, pretty. Lucas's office. Lucas, don't leave on lights you ain't using, dickhead. Joke's on you, Lucas. I can't clean your office if you always keep the door locked. You a better wife than me, motherfucker. I wouldn't clean it at all. Matter of fact, I'd go in there and make more of a mess. Shit. You should get some new records. And a record player, I suppose. So, I used to keep my typewriter here back when we moved in. There's still dents in the table. it back on. What a mess. I'll just tidy this. Oh. Why can't he keep these in his office? I'll never know. Why the fuck they just on the ground though? Like, here's a really nice teapot an ex had given me. I wish I still had it. It had this like dragon pattern on it. I don't know. I'm just kind of putting them on haphazardly. That was terrible. Damn, this is a chill bathroom too. With that tub? God damn. Lid down, the universal sign for Lucas not being home yet. Alright, let's not have this debate. Alright, we saw everything, I think. This is like real life. Like, I'll just wander all over the house instead of like going to the office and getting work done. God, this room is cool as shit. He has a terrarium. Drag items. Hey there, Lizzie. Ready for your meal? Okay. There you go, honey. Oh, shit. Eat. Full already? Alright, I'll just leave that there for you, okay? Alright, we good. I don't know, bro. Just, why you got all these books just sitting around? Damn. It don't matter. I don't think it matters ultimately, but like, fuck it. Just put them somewhere. Just get them off the couch. I don't know. This doesn't seem to fit anywhere. There. No, it's not much better. It's terrible still, but like, goddamn. This thing hasn't seen much action since I got a terminal. Maybe I'll come back to it someday. God, oof. Where your UI at, bro? God. New work. This is where it all started. Felt like I finally had a moment to prove myself. Deadlines. As far as editors go, he's not the worst. I should try to wrap this up today. Then again, I said that yesterday too. Love you. Poor Lucas still hasn't figured out how to work with terminals. I don't mind, it's kind of cute. I was just going through these real quick to see if I really wanted to go through reading them. Okay, they're not that long. I can read this. Renee, been getting a lot of positive responses on that piece you wrote about the Gaustown geezers. Really fun, colorful stuff. Keep it up and you'll be a regular on features in no time. Okay, now for a grim change of pace. Westkoski's off this week, so I'm going to need you to work on a follow-up piece about that fire on the West End. There's apparently some similar developments and residents are worried about a repeat, so I'm getting told to run something that will help settle those concerns. I've attached some of the public reports and the first notice we ran on it. Look into what happened and see if there's some way you can spin it into seeming more like a rare accident than a serious fire threat. Oh, and I skimmed the reports and it sounds like the guy was messing around with the stuff he didn't understand. That might be your angle. Either way, let's see if we can quell the fire hazard hysteria so we can get back to what you do best. Ever occurred to you, motherfucker, that maybe it was an actual fire? Or intentional fire? Let's see. I know you want to keep looking into the fire case, but we have to run something soon. You're not a detective, you're a writer. Leave solving crimes to the police. The only reason I keep letting you work on it for so long is because your other write-ups are stellar. But if you keep going like this, we'll be pushing the boundaries of what news is. And I mean that in the sense of being late to the party. Life's too short to be a perfectionist. Please have something for me by Wednesday. Shit sounds like my real job. I'm not reading their cutesy little text. For Renee. This was a big ask on my part. Both surprised and proud that he managed to get them for me. Here it is, but don't get your hopes up. Sorry for the wait on this scene. Statements are usually not for the public to see. So they had to strike a lot of it to protect the lives of the officers. Oh, okay. Lucas is a cop, I guess. Neat. Alright, here's the main report. I wish so much hadn't been redacted from it. That's long. Hey, lordy. Alright. Suspect's apartment is small, maybe 500 square feet, and in a poor state. Living conditions are working class, typical of West End hallway entry. Wallpapers coming off by the ceiling. Body was found close to the door. Beaver looks to be in his mid-20s. Mackenzie arrived at the same time as me and inspected the body while I had a look around. Didn't take long. The suspect had 3 bullet wounds. One in the abdomen, one in the torso, and one in the neck. One in the neck was particularly gruesome, but Mackenzie's initial conclusion was that the suspect bled out. Mustn't have taken too long on account of all the wounds. I'm guessing Miss Giannopoulos won't be required to do much of an autopsy. The suspect, Beaver, was wearing pants and suspenders but no shirt. Body stained with blood, but there's a fine dusting over the upper torso. Mackenzie tells me it's soot, and I can't argue. The head is similarly blackened by soot or redacted. But it looks like the suspect made an effort to wipe it off. Top left shoulder looks like it has a burn mark. Mackenzie confirms it, saying it's very recent, probably today. Off to the side of the body is a tire iron, old and rusted. Some of the suspect's blood is pooled onto it, but no splatter. Kitchen is a mess, more soot, more ash, and a large amount redacted hovering near the top of the ceiling, making it hard to breathe. Lingering smell of redacted. Most likely from the stove. There's footprints of soot leading out of the kitchen, but none leading in. Tools are scattered around the oven, the hatch of which has been screwed off. This is where most of the damage is. We opened some windows on our way out, but it's going to be a long time before they get the smell of redacted out of there. The rest of the apartment is not noteworthy. Small bedroom almost entirely covered by the bed. Kitchen table and chairs moved to the side of the hall. Bathroom small and cramped. Nothing of interest in here except the body and the kitchen, both of which appear like closed cases. And then an addendum. I saw nothing that would have implied the apartment was a fire hazard, and to the best of my knowledge, resolved the situation to the best of my abilities. Alright. But this is a story, so nah. Bruh. Report. Too much clicking. I'm at Dorsey at the fire station. Good man, very helpful. Can probably trust this report. Original notice. From what Wayne told me, his original write-up got so edited he felt weird about putting his name on this one. Fire, blah, blah, blah. A fire erupted in an apartment building in West End yesterday, claiming the entire building in its wake. Although some tenants were successfully evacuated, many lives were lost during the disastrous fire. Exact number of fatalities has yet to be disclosed, as efforts are ongoing to search the remains of the building. Thanks to the city's finest, however, the fire was contained to a single building and no further damage was done to the surrounding buildings. Yeah, that sounds like a puff piece. I'm good at from here. Alright. Oh wait, I didn't read those other 2 articles, but I guess it's too late. And look, my whole ass husband is over here, alright? Keep staring at that screen like that and your eyes will go square. Hey, hun. Gain trait. Caring. Lucas, I didn't hear you get back. Welcome home, babe. Logical. Not how it works, and you know that. Hey, honey. Or driven. Hey, baby, give me a second, alright? Driven. Take your time, take your time. Have you been at the terminal all day? Mm-hmm. Are you getting anywhere? I think I'm getting a pretty decent picture of things, yeah? Just to clarify, this is what I think it is, right? I don't know. What do you think it is? It's that article that you were working on about the West End fire? Not just the fire, the events leading up to it. Yeah? How's your investigation going? Didn't you say your edit guy was asking for it earlier? Edit guy? It's editor, Lucas, and his name is Wesley. I'm sorry for not being much of the reading sort, Your Highness. Let's not keep Wesley waiting then. Walk me through it. Let's figure it out right now. Where should I start?
Yeah.
Should we be wearing suspenders? Should we bring that back? I'm looking at the wolf in the hallway over there and I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe suspenders is one of those things we should try to bring back. We'll see. We'll think about it. It's on the table. There were 2 calls about it, right? Where did it start? See, this is the problem with me accidentally skipping those other 2 emails. I didn't read that part. Oh, okay, I can open the terminal and read them again. Dope. That wasn't it. Okay, here we go. So the first report, blah, 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 blah. At 11:02 on April 23rd, City Police Dispatch received an emergency call from a tenant on the 3rd floor in a tenement block in West End, citing domestic altercations as a cause of concern, additionally mentioning having noticed smoke from the downstairs apartments. The home of Stone Castor, Beaver, mid-20s, and Roe Ileana, also Beaver, mid-20s. 2 officers, including myself, were dispatched and arrived at the scene around 11:42. It took y'all 40 minutes, bro? God damn it. Yeah, that's it. I'm still reading this one. Upon arrival, Stone acted with hostility and refused the officer's entry to his home. After hearing sounds of distress from inside the apartment, Officer Redacted and I reached the door of the apartment. Stone was wearing only pants and shoes. His hands and face were dirtied. The apartment smelled of smoke and there was a small amount of it still in the ceiling. Immediately upon entry, Stone began acting in a menacing manner, wielding a blunt instrument in his left hand. Roe was acting hysterically, and all attempts to calm her were met with angry dismissal. Officer Redacted drew his service weapon and asked Stone to step down. During this time, I entered the kitchen to find it in a state of disarray. The oven was open, and scattered around it were crude tools. The oven hatch was torn from it, and there was a strong smell of electrical and wood burn. At this point, I heard a loud yelp from the hall, followed by a gunshot. I drew my service weapon, entered the hall, and found that Officer Redacted had discharged his service weapon, hitting Stone in the abdomen. Seeing that my partner had been injured, I determined that Stone was still a threat and discharged my service weapon twice. Stone was hit in the chest both times and dropped to the ground. Roe was in a lot of distress, lashing out in a threatening manner, and was taken into custody for impeding a police investigation. Damn. This escalated fast. Let me see. Where was I? There we go. Officer Redacted placed a call to dispatch, and we remained on the scene at the scene with Roe in custody in the patrol car. The coroner and detectives arrived around 12:09. Our initial statements were taken, and the body was removed from the premises. I saw nothing that would have implied that the apartment was a fire hazard, and to the best of my knowledge, blah blah blah. Okay, so that's a more shit. I closed it again before I read the other one. There were 2 calls about it, right? Where did it start? In Stone's apartment, I guess. It won't let me read it again. And how do we know that exactly? Are you completely sure? Or are you jumping to conclusions? The fire mentions a gas leak on the 2nd floor. The first emergency call describes smoke. I'm gonna have to guess a little bit because I didn't read the other article. That seems to narrow it down, sure. It's just a question of timing, but we'll get to that. All right, and when did the fire start? It had to be later, because they were at Stone's house, and there was no fire yet, even at midnight. So, let's see. Officer Redacted was present during the testimony of Officer Redacted and confirmed the events of the report. For clarity, questions pertaining to the first time a service weapon was discharged were asked and make up the totality of this report. Further information, see blah, 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 blah. No. Hold on. Oh, there's 3 articles, okay. After I drew my service weapon, an officer Redacted left to investigate the remainder of the apartment. Stone, Beaver mid-20s, began making threats and insulting me and my partner. I asked Stone repeatedly to stand down, which he refused. Eventually, Stone charged at me with a sharp object, stabbing me in my left arm. I discharged my service weapon, which hit Stone in the abdomen, causing Stone to back off a few steps. Officer Redacted entered the hall shortly after, subdued Stone further. I saw nothing that would have implied the apartment was a fire hazard, and to the best of my knowledge, resolved the situation. Okay. So I'm thinking I was wrong. God damn it. No. Click the wrong button again. Okay. It had to be 1:45. It definitely wasn't at 11:02. Because that's when... Yeah. How do we know that again? The building wasn't on fire when the cops showed up, Lucas.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. At least we have a general time frame when the fire started. Anything else that comes to mind about it? There was one thing. I can't check the terminal again? Okay. The first emergency call made mention of smoke, but only cops showed up. True. There are no records of who made the second call. The cops saw signs of a fire, but didn't alert the fire department. All the police reports have the same passage at the end. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure how they phrased it, but maybe they focused on something else during the call. Besides, it's not uncommon for us to be sent out to deal with small fires every once in a while. So much for public safety spending. Anything else? The cops saw signs of a fire but didn't alert the fire department. Signs of a past fire, right? If there are no flames and no cause of alarm, why would they have called it in? Good question. I'd call it for what it is. Neglect. Anything else? All the police reports had the same passage at the end. I did notice that. That shit about there was, I didn't see any risk of a fire. I know that looks weird, but I'm pretty sure that's just standard procedure. There's usually some legal jargon that needs to be added to statements to cover all bases. Didn't sound like legal jargon to me. There are no records of who made the second call. Okay, so I had to pick all the options anyway. We usually don't admit that. Maybe it was done from a payphone or something, anonymously. Why would someone report a fire anonymously, though?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I know that you're interested in this part, so let's go over it. Tell me what happened when the cops showed up. They heard a distressed voice from inside. That certainly feels like reason enough, especially if Stone was refusing to let them in. Sounds pretty clear cut, right? I mean, yeah, I guess. So there's reason for the officers to get in, and eventually they do, right? That's right. And how did they enter? They breached the door, I think. The guy was really adamant about not letting people in, huh? What was his reaction once people were inside? He was hostile. So we hit him with the bang bang pew. I think he... I know he insulted them. At least that's what the first cop said. Actionable, but not cause to use force, unless he was incredibly vile, I suppose. Then what happened? They investigate the kitchen. All right, I think I remember this part. The first officer goes into the kitchen, hears a yell, and comes back. Do you know precisely what happened in the hall during that time? Stone attacked the second officer. Right. Does the report specify how? Like I said, he insulted and threatened the cop, then attacked. All right, and with what? A sharp object. All right, he came at them with a weapon, and they responded with force. I'm sorry, Renee, but this is all according to protocol. I'm not buying it. Shooting someone without a gun after entering their home? You said it yourself, Renee, he attacked the officers first. Right, but when they first got there, or not when they first got there, but one of the articles said there was like a crowbar or something next to him. They didn't mention a knife, so that feels like lies. But okay.
All right.
You doing okay? This whole thing, this whole case, it's a lot, isn't it? It's okay. I've seen worse. Well, try not to get too used to it, Renee. It's not healthy. It chips away at your sanity. What about you? What do you make of it? I think this is an awful case. I think it's horrible. But I also think you're looking for something that isn't there. And maybe you're looking for someone to blame. It's not about blame. It's about those officers being held accountable for what they did. Maybe sometimes, but it's not an easy job. These are people that put their lives on the line every single day, and they get very little thanks for it. Stone got even less. That fire, they could have stopped it. Renee, I know. It's awful. Horrible. But I'm sorry. I don't see how they could have known or what they could have done. I know it's bad, but it's just unfortunate. I think it's worse. Hey, let's just order dinner, all right? You've had a long day. I've had a long day. Let's just step away from this for a bit, okay? Step away? No, this is important, you asshole. Listen, I'll go take care of dinner and you focus on what you need to do. However I can help, I will, all right? God. You failed to convince Lucas about your suspicions regarding the case. I guess I didn't know I had to. I kept accidentally jumping out of the articles, so like I couldn't get all the evidence I needed, man.